What's up, everybody? Today we're going to do an expansion draft. We added the Cincinnati Royals, which is the team we're going to be controlling today, and the Seattle Supersonics. The expansion protect list, I believe, is 11. So what we're going to do is we're just going to simulate the draft and see what we end up with here. What we're going to do here is we're going to go look at the roster real quick. So Al Horford was probably our first pick, Dwight Howard, Gary Payton II, Luke Kennard. So you might be seeing some of these contracts are a little off, like Gary Payton doesn't have his big deal from Portland yet. That's just because I didn't load in the 2K23 roster. I thought it'd be fun to see what would happen if we redrafted the rookies, saw what happened. So it's still Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith Jr., Jaden Ivey. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the trade finder and start getting rid of some of these older players, hopefully getting some picks back. I want to keep this semi-realistic, so nothing too crazy. If I have to attach a first to Horford or just let him play out his contract here, you know, it is what it is, but we're just going to look around real quick and see what's happening. I think we're going to do this trade right here. So the Portland Trailblazers have a lot of money on the roster, the Bledsoe and the Ingles. And even though they are both expiring, technically so is Horford if they decide to decline his team option. On top of that, he actually provides some level of, you know, competence compared to, no offense to Eric Bledsoe or Joe Ingles, but we'll just go ahead and pull the trigger on this trade. Get off of Horford's contract for the year, get rid of the other two guys, and hopefully, honestly, hopefully that makes us worse, you know? I think someone we're going to look to trade is Jay Crowder next. Guy has a lot of trade value in the league, so actually a talented player could get us a first or a second, you know. So we're going to do this trade right here. We're going to get Derrick Jones Jr.'s expiring contract plus his highlight dunks and a second round pick for 2026 from the Chicago Bulls. I think we're going to pull the trigger on this trade with Phoenix. They can always take center depth, I guess, and Dwight's more playoff ready than I feel like Aaron Holiday is. So we're going to take Aaron Holiday, decent young player out of UCLA, played 3 years in Indiana. And we're going to get their first round pick, 2024, lottery protected. So hopefully 2024 is Chris Paul's final year. They basically start to lose, maybe get like the 14th pick. They don't jump up. And then the next year they're even worse with Chris Paul retiring. And then we end up getting a high lottery pick. So that's what I'm banking on here. Luke Kennard is someone who probably won't be traded during the season, but we'll probably look to trade during the off season. Maybe add some, you know, extra late first round pick for him from a team who needs shooting. Philadelphia ends up having cap space. We can always do them. So I think we're going to do this trade for Jeremy Lamb. Or trade away Jeremy Lamb for Daniel Tice in this 2026 second round pick. The Celtics get a better wing rotation. They get a nice depth player who's on a 1-year contract, but still, I think he's a better addition than Daniel Tice is. We're going to pick up that pick, and then hopefully Jeremy Lamb can help the Celtics actually win a championship this year. So I think right here we're going to take on Duncan Robinson's awful contract in a 2024 second round pick in exchange for Josh Richardson. He's a 1-year plus 1 team option, so if he plays well for the Heat, again, he can, you know, get that picked up and come back on. If not, they can cut their losses and they're still like out of Duncan Robinson's contract. So I think they pull the trigger on this in a heartbeat. I'm going to see if I can get a second round pick from this year though. They want another second. Deal. Okay. So I think this is what our rotation is going to end up looking like. We're going to have Aaron Holiday start at the 1, Gary Payton II start at the 2, Joe Ingles at the 3, Max Strus at the 4, Tristan Thompson at the 5, Luke Kennard as our 6th man, along with Chris Clemens and Sharif Cooper, each getting 20 minutes, along with Duncan Robinson. Hopefully try to either build up his trade value or just keep him, honestly, as a long-term Royals player. Derrick Jones Jr. is going to get 12 minutes a game. Daniel Tice is going to get 8 minutes a game, also maybe to get up that trade value. Miles McBride, the point guard out of West Virginia, he's going to get 8 minutes a game and maybe try to take his game up. And then Bledsoe's going to grab the last 5 minutes. So we're going to run a 13-man rotation this season. Actually, let's take Bledsoe's minutes away and let's move it up here. I think Derek Jones Jr. can get some of that. Tice can get the rest. All right, this is the rotation for year one. I'll see you at the end of the season. So I got offered a very interesting trade here about 2 weeks into the season. So I would give up Gary Payton II, who's on a 1-year minimum deal, for a 2022 first-round Milwaukee unprotected pick and Javon Carter. Carter can basically play the same level of defense without the athleticism that Gary Payton can. He's on the same contract, and I can get a first-round pick out of it in this year's draft. And, you know, the Bucks are trying to contend, so I'm sure they'd rather have Gary Payton II than Javon Carter. So we're going to go ahead and accept that trade. So I just completed a trade with the Seattle Supersonics. I sent Javon Carter, Miles McBride, and a second-round pick this year, Swap Wars, Denver, Philadelphia pick for new franchise center, Bol Bol. I noticed we were starting Tristan Thompson at the center position, and that didn't really sit well with me, so while I think Tristan Thompson is a fantastic bench piece, he's probably more suited to be on a contending team. Bol Bol at least provides some level of upside, and honestly, ticket sales as well. We're actually going to pull the trigger on this trade right here. It's currently the trade deadline, so we're going to do Tristan Thompson, 2024 second round Miami swap best, and this 2024 second round Dallas swap worst. So we're going to keep a second round pick in 2024, no matter what, and give up our 2022 second round Cincinnati unprotected, which is going to probably be a top 5 in the second round. And we're going to get Davis Bertans and his really, really bad contract and a 2025 first round pick from Dallas unprotected. I think that's the only trade we're going to make here at the trade deadline, so I will see you at the end of the season. So here we have conference rank 15th, power rank 32nd. Wonderful, love to see it. Rookie of the year is Cade Cunningham. Most valuable player is Luka. Ben Simmons is the 6th man of the year. Giannis the DPOY, and Bol Bol is the most improved player, averaging 12.7 points, 8.2 rebounds, and 2.2 blocks. Do not look at those shooting percentages. True shooting of 47.1. That's most improved player for you. There's no way we have any Royals on any team unless we have maybe a rookie or something. Nope, no Royals at all. Okay, sim right to the playoffs. The Atlanta Hawks are your 2021 NBA champions over the Utah Jazz. Trae Young wins Finals MVP, averaging almost 30 points per game and almost 12 assists per game. So here we go with the draft lottery. Somehow, despite just existing this year, we were still better than the Orlando Magic. So we'll see if we get lucky and jump to 1. So the Magic just dropped from 1 to 5. The Royals are going to have a top 3 pick, which means we get one of the best big men in the league. I would like to have 2 because I really don't want to take Jabari Smith. Despite a lot of leapfrogging happening, we end up moving up from 2 to pick 1. The Grizzlies end up getting the 2nd pick thanks to the Lakers, which is insane. And that means number 1 pick is to the Cincinnati Royals. So it's time to make first number 1 pick in NBA history. Let's go to the draft. So at head coach, we ended up making a change from the auto-generated guy to the best person to take over a rebuild and just instill a culture of winning into a team that needs it. So we got the 2 twins, Bryce Jones and Ian Odom, and our new head coach, Kenny Atkinson, who's on a 4-year, $21 million contract. So right now we're going to try to trade Luke Kennard, who just had not a great season from 3-point percentage, but they kind of know that's his usage. So, because Kennard's a shooter, we all know it. So we're going to trade Luke Kennard to the New York Knicks because the Knicks always think they're going to try to contend. they can never actually contend and try to get the 18th pick. They want to counter and give us... Why would they want to do this? Like, this doesn't make sense. So we're going to trade a future second plus Luke Kennard for the 18th pick. And with that, we're going to have pick 1, pick 18, and pick 30. So at 1, I know Boble just won most improved player, but I think we're going to have to take Chet Holmgren and see what he can do. So that means next up, Memphis Grizzlies are going to trade for, oh my gosh. So Ja pairs with Jaylen Brown and Alec. That might be worth it. That's insane. I wonder who the Celtics are trading up for. Paulo Banchero. Interesting. That's a good pick for Boston, as long as Jason still plays the 3, you know. And the Rockets still get Jabari Smith Jr., which means the big 3 are now gone. See who goes 4. Jaden Ivey. Let me guess. Keegan Murray goes 5. Johnny Davis. There we go. Okay, Keegan Murray goes 6th overall. So we're going to sim to pick 18 real quick and see who's on the board. Jovic is someone I wouldn't mind. I like his passing. I like his offense. I think he's definitely a project, but we're not exactly looking to contend this season, so I think we're going to go ahead and take Nikola Jovic out of Serbia. Pick 30, we're going to take Jaden Hardy. Hasn't from USA, but I think he went G League Ignite last season in real life. So we get quite the haul for the future. Chet Holmgren, Nikola Jovic, and Jaden Hardy. I'm hoping these two can become like legitimate bench contributors. Jovic maybe like a fringe starter. Holmgren I really need to succeed as like an absolute terror, you know? We're going to pick up the team option on Max Strus. We're going to let Bledsoe walk. Strus, we're going to have to look to trade soon because he's not happy here and we need to make playing time. I'm definitely going to extend the qualifying offer to these two. Aaron Holiday had a great season last year for us. Oh, I didn't even show the stats, my bad. Someone we could go after is Colin Sexton. He had kind of a down year. Upwards of 3-point percentage. I mean, he's good in 2K. He's probably good in real life, honestly. To be fair, I'm a little confused on why no one's giving, him a contract. He's only 23. When you're removed from legitimately like a really good season, what did he average? I feel like whoever gets Colin Sexton, whether he goes back on his qualifying offer or whatnot, I mean, I really think that they should just keep him, so Colin Sexton agrees to the deal. We'll see if the Cavaliers match it. Oh, that stinks. Okay, the Cavaliers match that contract with Colin Sexton, so we're going to have to look around for who else we want to try to fleece away. I think Josh Jackson's someone we're going to try to get. I do want to go after Anthony Simons, honestly. Just on a 1 year, we'll say $20 million contract. We get Anthony Simons. Not bad at all. We'll take a look at the roster real quick. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, man, Anthony. We'll wait till the moratorium ends. So if we look at the roster real quick, we got 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players, so maybe another big, depending on who's available. I'm going to sign Stanley Johnson. I actually just got into an argument today with my buddy who's a Jazz fan about whether Stanley Johnson was good or not, and whether or not I'm recording this the day the Patrick Beverley trade went down, and he thinks that the Jazz fleeced the Lakers. Honestly, I think it's just a win for both teams. Stanley Johnson is not a bad player, so I definitely got put onto that, but at the same time, it feels like the Lakers did not have to give up much to get Patrick Beverley, who is a good player. He's old, but he's a good player. I think we're also going to try to sign Lonnie Walker here on a 1+1 deal. These are the rotations for year number 2. We're going to start Anthony Simons, Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Jovic, and Holmgren, along with a bench of Aaron Holiday, Bol, Sharif Cooper, Lonnie Walker, Jaden Hardy, Chris Clemens, and Stanley Johnson. What's up? We are here at the end of season number 2 of our Cincinnati Royals simulation. Luka Doncic wins another MVP, averaging probably the most video game numbers I've ever seen in my entire life. So 41 points per game, 12 and 10, like literally 12 and 10. So average triple-double. Shot 53, 47, 84. That's ridiculous. That's a 69.3% true shooting with 40 points per game. I'm blown away. But Rookie of the Year is Chet Holmgren. That's what I'm talking about. He averaged 16.9 points per game. Nice way to sneak that 6.9 in there, Chet. 10.8 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 3 blocks, which is fantastic. 43, 71, 32.5. He's only going to go up from here. He's a great player. Excited to build around him and whoever we get with this next pick. Hopefully we get number 1. Sixth Man of the Year is Ben Simmons for the 2nd year in a row. Giannis Depoy, 2nd year in a row. Most Improved, Talen Horton-Tucker. Look at him, shooting 27.3% from 3. Willie Green and Brandon Harrison. Excellent. Is there any Royals on any of the All-NBA teams? I don't think there would be. I'm pretty sure Chet probably led us in scoring unless Anthony did. All defensive first and second team. He may have got snubbed. Come on. He averaged 3 blocks a game. All rookie first team, Chet Holmgren. All rookie second team, Nikola Jovic. What did he average this year? 11.6, 5.6, 3.7, 40, 32, 71. Not bad. Definitely can be someone who gets a lot of improvement as time goes on. Okay, let's simulate through the playoffs real quick because we're not going to be here this year, probably not next year, but I'm hoping the year after is our year. The San Antonio Spurs actually win the championship led by DeJounte Murray. Wonder who else is on that team. DeJounte, Zach LaVine, got it, okay. And Hassan Whiteside, so love to see it. Here we are at the draft lottery. We have the highest odds for the number 1 overall pick. We're going to hope no one hops up. I would really love to take Wembanyama and put him in the same front court as Chet. I feel like that'd be an unstoppable front court. It's kind of ridiculous how many picks are via trade, you know? So I'm going to sit through it. We're going to see what happens here because I feel like you get better luck that way, but I'm not going to make you sit through it, so I'll see you at the end of the draft. So at the end of the lottery, we dropped from pick 1 to pick 4, which is really unfortunate because there's no realistic way that I can trade up with the Trailblazers to get pick 1 and draft Wembanyama unless I can get a proven superstar over to Portland in exchange for that. So we'll see what happens, and I will see you at the draft unless I try to make a trade. We'll see what happens. So I tried to put together a trade to get the first overall pick that would send Donovan Mitchell to Portland. Didn't work out, so I mean, here's hoping that the Portland Trailblazers pass up on Victor Wembanyama, so there's always that. Got it. Okay, fair enough. So we're going to try to go ahead and trade for Wembanyama straight from the Trailblazers. So we would throw in pick 4, Aaron Holiday, our lottery protected first round pick next year, 2 seconds, and I think I'm going to throw in another first just to make it more fair. So we'll throw in our 2025 Royals pick unprotected as well. That's a protection backup. It's not great. Let's throw in our 2026 first round pick. Perfect. Okay, so multiple firsts, multiple seconds, and the 4th overall pick. So basically Anthony Black in exchange for Victor Wembanyama. And we get to keep the 1st overall pick of the 2nd round. So I will let you know who we take with that pick. So with the 31st pick in the draft, we're going to take Leonard Miller out of, I think he said out of Canada. I don't actually know a lot about him. So he's a multi-position defender, With Max Strus probably leaving this year in free agency, this is kind of the way we need to go, just to make sure we have something. Nope, 33rd pick. I forgot we have 2 expansion teams in, so 33rd pick. Awesome. Okay, so we lead the draft with Leonard Miller and Victor. So we're going to put together probably the most terrifying front court of all time with Chet Holmgren and Victor Wembanyama. I will show you the stats because I forgot last season, so we'll take a look at them right now. So Chet, 16.9, 10.8, 3.4. We already went over his numbers. Simons, 13 points, 48, 39, 92. Fantastic. Jovic, 11. We already went over his. Bull brought his numbers up considerably as the sixth man, so that's promising. So we'll probably look to re-sign him this year. Max Strus was pretty upset with me last year, so we'll see if he ends up coming back. If not, we draft Leonard Miller to replace him. Duncan Robinson as a bench piece shot 42% from 3 on a really big contract. Chris Clemens, 7.8, 41, 35. He scores a lot of points. He does not do it efficiently, so he's a nice little spark plug off the bench. Lonnie Walker didn't really do much, but we didn't really give him a lot of time. We're going to let him walk in free agency. And then Sharif Cooper, 6.7, 3.4. Really bad efficiency, way worse than last year, but still only 22. We're going to give him, another year. So our first free agent signing here is going to be Derrick Rose. We're going to give him a player option, 1+1, $13 million a year. It's going to grow by 5% next year. We're going to overpay slightly for him, just basically because we're a new team. We don't have a lot of fans, and I want to get people into the seats. So Derrick Rose, hopefully you come and be our starting point guard, unless we end up bringing Anthony back. So another guy we're going to look to bring on is Brandon Clark. Hopefully the Grizzlies don't match this qualifying offer and we are able to pick him up for a year. Keep him as the primary backups power forward. Maybe run the Bol, Brandon Clark second unit lineup there. So Clark does agree to the deal, so does Derrick Rose. Let's see if the Grizzlies... Perfect. Okay, cool. So we get Brandon Clark and Derrick Rose. Those are some pretty big improvements to our Cincinnati Royals roster. We can take a look around and see who else is available in free agency, but I think we're just going to get out of the moratorium and see what happens. We're going to sign Bol back to a 2-year, $15.8 million deal. We're also going to give a 1-year, $3.5 million deal to Alec Burks, move him to small forward, and see if we can't flip him around the trade deadline for something. We're going to give a 1-year minimum deal to Matt Thomas as well. Big fan of Matt Thomas, have been for a while, ever since he was on Toronto. It also doesn't hurt that I went to college with his sister, so I had that connection there, so I've just been a big fan of Matt Thomas. Player progression, Chet Holmgren's an 83 at power forward, Wembanyama's an 82 to start, Brandon Clark's an 80, Alec Burks an 80 because they moved him to small forward. D-Rose is regressing, Bol is progressing, which is awesome to see. Sharif Cooper's progressing, so he'll actually win that backup point guard spot this year. Stanley Johnson's getting better. Tyson Robinson, both getting worse. Jovic, 74, not really progressing too much, but Jaden Hardy actually is, so Jaden Hardy might end up starting at shooting guard this year, which would be a big jump for him because he shot 33, 24, 76 last year in 13 minutes per game. Alright, at the start of season number 2, this is what our rotation is going to look like. So we're going to have Derrick Rose, Jaden Hardy, Jovic, Holmgren, and Wembanyama starting, with a bench of Brandon Clark, Bol, Sharif Cooper, Alec Burks, and Stanley Johnson. Matt Thomas, Duncan Robinson, Daniel Tice, Bertans, and Leonard Miller we're actually going to send down to the G League for his first year here. He's not going to like it, and him being a second round pick, he's just not going to be happy with us by the end of that, so hopefully he progresses enough where we can start him in the second year. He honestly might make it into the rotation around the trade deadline when Alec Burks gets shipped out, but until then we'll just have to see. All that being said, we're going to simulate year 3. I'll see you at the end of the season with how we do. I would really love to make a playing game, give us some viability. If Wembanyama and Holmgren can coexist together, it will give us some level of free agency attraction. So That's what we're shooting for this year. I don't know if I showed you guys yet. I don't know who made this team, but whoever made the Cincinnati Royals team, mad props to you. I mean, just look how beautiful these jerseys are. It's super simple, but I love that, you know, off-symmetrical, asymmetrical stripe right there with the Royals up and down. The crown above the number. It looks incredible. Whoever did it clearly spent a long time on this. The court looks fantastic. I'll see if I can show you in the playoffs sometime, but yeah, it looks really good. So here we are at the trade deadline. We are currently the worst team in the NBA. So we're going to look to trade Alec Burks and probably Brandon Clark, because neither are really looking like they're going to want to come back next year. Let's see what we can get for Alec Burks, right? So I think we're going to do this trade with the Charlotte Hornets. It's kind of a ridiculous pay. They're going to give us 2 first-round picks, one from Laker in 2025 and one from them unprotected in 2027. To make this a little bit more feasible, we're going to give up a couple second-round picks in this trade and just see if it will go through. Perfect. Cool. So Alec Burks is no longer on the team. Along with 2 second-round picks, we got 2 future firsts. Brandon Clark is the next person up for trade. We're going to go ahead and do this trade with the LA Lakers, send Brandon Clark and Duncan Robinson to them. In exchange, we'll get a very old and very overpaid Klay Thompson and their 2027 first round picks. So we're just collecting Lakers picks at this point. Awesome. I think we're going to stand pat at the trade deadline now. We sent 2 key players away. We got back. Well, basically we got back Klay Thompson, but that's about it. But hey, Klay's definitely a improvement over Jaden Hardy. No offense, Jaden Hardy, but 24.5% from 3 just isn't going to cut it. So I think that's going to be our last trade. I will see you at the end of the season where we will hopefully finish 15th, but probably 16th. So at the end of the 3rd year, the Royals finish 16th in the East once again. Luka wins his 3rd straight MVP, averaging 40 points and almost a triple-double this season. Scoot Henderson is Rookie of the Year over Victor Wembanyama. He killed it. He absolutely killed it this year. But that 26.8% from 3. If you saw the Atlanta Hawks video, you know it's going to go up when he takes his massive jump. So, good for the Wizards. Wembanyama's got a bright future. Ben Simmons, 3rd straight 6th Man of the Year. Giannis, 3rd straight DPOY. Jaden Hardy is the most improved player. That's what I'm talking about. This is the 2nd time that we've had a most improved player with atrocious true shooting percentage. But I'll take it. Victor gets all rookie first team, finished 2nd Rookie of the Year voting, and that's all we got. I'm not going to forget this year either. Here are our season stats. Chet led us in scoring, followed by Victor, Klay Thompson, Bol, D Rose, Nikola Jovic, Jaden Hardy, Sharif Cooper, and we ended up giving Leonard Miller some minutes after the Alec Burks trade, and he performed extremely well in those minutes, so hopefully we have a long-term NBA rotation piece here. Matt Thomas, 43% from 3. Gotta love it. Your 2023-2024 NBA champions are the Minnesota Timberwolves. They win 7 over the Miami Heat. Anthony Edwards, he ends up winning Finals MVP, so Minnesota finally gets the championship. So here's the draft lottery. So I believe that Trailblazers pick that they have number 1 overall from us, potentially, I believe that was lottery protected. And then hopefully the Suns barely made the playoffs. I saw Chris Paul retire in the offseason, so hopefully in the next couple of years we end up getting that Phoenix Suns pick and ends up becoming a high lottery pick. So I will see you at the end of this draft. So here we are in the top 4. I believe 2 different teams, maybe 3 leapfrogged into the top 4, so that's not great for odds. They're the Knicks, so Pelicans end up getting a top 3 pick. The Knicks get the 4th overall pick. Okay, we're getting a top 2 pick. Unless I completely blanked on the protection, in which case I screwed us. No, okay, cool. There we go. Cincinnati Royals, 2nd overall pick, which means that the Sacramento Kings end up getting the 1st overall pick. Okay, excited to see you with who we take in the draft. The Kings are about to make their selection. They're taking Xavier Booker out of Michigan State. I think we're going to end up taking Mackenzie M. I don't actually know how to say his last name, so we're going to call him, we'll call him Eminem. Perfect. With the 17th pick from the Phoenix Suns, what we're going to do is we're going to take LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, just to be that playmaker that we need to get the ball down to Chet and Victor, toss it out to Eminem. And that's going to end up being our draft. So with the 2nd overall pick, we get Eminem. With the 17th overall pick, we get Bronny James. And then next year, we won't have our 1st round pick, so let's hope that we're good this year. Like, this isn't completely out of the question. We drafted his son, and I know he doesn't know that in the game, but he did say we'd sign with whoever drafts Bronny. Unfortunately, he's not going to sign with us, but he doesn't even accept the offer. It's a 1-year max, Bron. So he's going to go to Detroit and play with Cade. So Bronny, if you're watching this for whatever reason on this tiny channel with 4 subscribers, one of them is me and the other one's my girlfriend, so I really don't have a lot to say here. For whatever reason, Bronny, you're watching this, your dad loves Cade Cunningham more than you. That's all I gotta say. So we did offer Tyrese Maxey a deal. We gave him 1 year, $27.98 million with a player option the 2nd year. If you know me, you know I love the Sixers. You know I love Tyrese Maxey, so hopefully they don't match, but honestly, I don't know why they wouldn't. Deal. Absolute deal. I'm going to decline his deal now. Nope, I have to accept it. Got it. Okay. We're going to accept Tyrese Maxey for a 1-year deal. We're probably going to put him back. No, we're going to keep him a shooting guard. And we're going to start Eminem at small forward. Okay, this works out. So right now on the team, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players that we want to play. I'd like to have a 10-man rotation. So if we get a point guard who can contribute as a backup, that'd be perfect. That's all we're looking for now. So for the backup point guard position, we're going to sign D'Anthony Melton to a 3-year, 4-year, 3-year. Do a 4-year deal, front loaded, with a team option in the last year. Hopefully he signs that, and he'll be kind of our lead 6th man. We're still going to let Bronny start over him, I believe, so we'll see how that works out. Grand Theft Alvarado as well. Do a similar deal. We'll do $8 million 1st year, front-loaded 3-year deal. Hopefully he signs with us. I feel like he'd be a really nice bench addition. We'd probably end up running an 11-man rotation, but hey, it works out. We're also going to sign Clay back because we love Clay, and he brings that championship mentality to our team. Okay, so we are set up for the future here. We have Victor, we have Tyrese, we have Chet, we have Jovic, who's progressing extremely well, Eminem, Klay Thompson's regressing, Nwaba getting better for some reason, and then we got Bronny James, who's, I don't know if I can honestly give him the starting point guard spot yet, but he is definitely the point guard of the future. Kind of like a Tyus Jones plus at the bare minimum, you know? But this is going to end up being our rotation for year number 4, I think. Hopefully we can finally do something. We're going to have Bronny James at the 1, Tyrese Maxey at the 2, Eminem at the 3, Chet Holmgren at the 4, Victor at the 5, with D'Anthony Melton, Bol Bol, Nikola Jovic, Jaden Hardy, and Leonard Miller, all being significant role players. And then I had to give Alvarado and Thompson some minutes here. So if we suck, maybe we think about moving Bronny to the bench, letting Melton start. But yeah, I will see you at the trade deadline or at the end of the season, whichever I end up, actually doing something at. We are here at the end of the season, and we've finally shown some improvement. We finished 11th in the East. Luka wins MVP. I'm guessing that Ben Simmons is the sixth man. I'm guessing that Giannis is the DPOY. Ron Holland ends up winning Rookie of the Year. He was drafted 5th overall by the Thunder. Booker played great. Eminem played great. DJ Wagner played great. Tsunomu wins 6th man of the year instead of Ben Simmons. Giannis still wins DPOY. Okay, so 1 for 2, 2 for 3, because we all know Luka's always going to win MVP in traditional 2K setting. Proctor wins Most Improved. Yeah, he took a big jump. He went from 4.6 points to 15.4. I'm guessing Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz both left, so it made sense for him to take that step. We did not make the play-in game, but we were close. I mean, 11th seed, not too bad. No All-NBA first team, no All-NBA second team, no All-NBA third team, no All-Defensive first team or second team. Eminem does make All-Rookie second team, averaging 14.4 points, 4.7 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 42, 36, 83. Not bad at all. I will take it. We can look at the season stats. Victor led us in scoring at 17 per game. Tyrese had 16 per game. Chet had 16 points per game. And Eminem at McKenzie had 14 points per game. Bull kind of took a step back this year. We'll hope we can bounce back from 3 next year. Bronny James, our 17th overall pick, 8 points, 4 assists per game, 42, 36, 83, fantastic, 13 points per game on the per 36 with 6.4 assists, 1.2 steals, not bad for per 36. He had a good rookie year. Jovic, still not doing anything too crazy, but nevertheless a solid player to have on our team. Oh, and Melton, 7.5 points per game. That's bad. That's holy smokes, that's really bad shooting. We won't talk about it. Hardy, he broke 30% and 40%, guys. I don't want to overreact, right? Jaden Hardy is the next LeBron James. That's all I'm going to say. Future of the franchise right here. I would trade everyone on this team for one more of him. In the playoffs, the Cleveland Cavaliers win the 2024-2025 championship. Darius Garland's your finals MVP. The only team that really put up a fight was the 8th seeded Atlanta Hawks, so it's a close Eastern Conference though. I mean, 8 games between the 8th seed and the 1st seed, that's pretty impressive. LeBron James gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. Klay Thompson also retires, gets his jersey retired with the Warriors. I don't believe we're going to have any first round picks this year. The Trailblazers have our 8th overall pick, their projected 8th overall pick, so we'll see where they end up. Oh my gosh. We gotta have the 2nd overall pick thanks to the Dallas trade. I don't even know when we made that trade, but we have it. The Lakers have the 1st overall pick, which kind of stinks. I believe we had their lottery protected first this year. And then we have an unprotected one in 2027, so let's just hope they suck again next year and we get their pick. I don't know if Kenny Atkinson's the answer anymore. He's not been the best, so we may have to look at other people here. One of these 3 would be, probably the best we could do. So we'll probably offer them all a contract. And then potentially we'll offer Rick Carlisle a contract too, depending on how much money we have. So I'm going to go ahead and fire Kenny Atkinson. So all 3 turned down our offer, Ty Lue, Spoelstra, and Steve Kerr. So Rick Carlisle looks like the guy we're going to go for. If we can't get him, we're also going to throw one at Monty Williams. And past that, I really don't know what we're going to do from a head coach. I mean, Borrego's got good ratings at least. Yeah, we'll offer Borrego a $5 million per year deal to see if he'll come head coach for us. Oh, nope, doesn't matter. We have Rick Carlisle as our new head coach. Hopefully he'll get more production out of our players. I want to see 20 points per game for Tyrese, Chet, and Victor. So this is an auto-generated draft class. The Lakers are taking Jeremy Duncan, who's the consensus #1 overall pick out of Michigan State. So we'll see what's on the board at 2. If not, we'll look to trade and figure out what we want to do. But looking at the top players, I think we're going to trade because it feels like there's a lot of centers. This guy's projected 2, Latrell Sprewell, Nick Young. But I just want to see what we're going to get in the trade market for pick 2. Because technically we'll have a lot of money this year. I think we're going to pull the trigger on this trade. The Miami Heat. I saw there was a couple decent offers. Wendell Carter Jr. was probably the best player I got offered. So I think we're going to do this trade. We're going to get the 5th overall pick this year and Miami's 2028 first round pick. So Jimmy will probably be gone by then, so it'll just be Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo and whoever they take it to. We'll hope it turns into something good for us. They're taking Neil Davidson, so I mean, you can't put him and Bam on the floor probably, so one of those guys is probably gone. I feel like it's a lateral move at best for them. We can still take a look at who's available. Again, a lot of centers. With the 5th pick, we're going to take Dean Marks. He's out of UCLA. He has an A+3, an A perimeter defense. His potential isn't great, but I mean, if he can, basically we just need him to shoot threes, play defense. So he's the 3-and-D prototype right there. We're going to draft him, sim to the end, and yeah, hopefully we can actually make the playoffs next year. So Dean Marks, 77 overall. Nice. So we're going to pick up the team options on everyone here. Tyrese Maxey, you're going to be priority #1 of re-signing here. We're going to give Leonard Miller the qualifying offer. He shot great again this season, so hopefully we can tie him up on a long-term deal. There's no way we can afford Giannis, right? Like, what's my sales pitch to Giannis here? We have Victor and Chet. You'll pair up with 2 of the best big men in the league. You'll start at small forward, which means you're going to have mismatches on every play. Melton, I'm getting rid of anyway because he played the worst basketball of his career for us. So if I can get like this right here, Chris Murray and a 2028 first round pick. Chris Murray, he was the 29th pick 2 years ago, it looks like. Hasn't done much with that since. Per 36 is fantastic, but overall not like someone they'll miss too bad. Let me see if John Collins is still on the team. Let me do just the 2028 first round pick, and we'll take not the 2028 second. We'll take their second in 2026, and we'll take their second in 2027. Boom, perfect. We'll sign your brothers. I'll go out of my way to trade for them. Like, if that's what it takes, we'll give you a player option. I'm not giving you no trade clause. I mean, Giannis is on the team. I mean, 30-year-old Giannis, but DPOY, multi-time MVP. Can he bring a championship to our team? I mean, we're losing out on basically everyone here, which stinks. But it is what it is. Sacrifice for the championship. Tyrese Maxey, we're going to be able to get back due to whatever reason 2K lets me. We're going to give him the 4-year deal. So this is the team for year 5. Giannis is actually going to start at small forward, Victor at center, Tyrese at 2, Chet at 4, Eminem, he's going to go ahead and play backup to Giannis. Jose is going to be backup to Bronny. Caleb Martin is someone I added. Jovic is going to be playing well. Dean Marks is going to be the backup shooting guard to Tyrese. Holmes, Leonard Miller, 75 overall, I'll take it. Bronny James went up by 1 to a 74. We might end up starting Jose Alvarado. So this is going to end up being the rotation this year. Tyrese Maxey is going to start at the 1. Eminem's going to start at the 2. Giannis at the 3. Chet at the 4. Victor at the 5. The bench of Jovic, Alvarado, Bronny, Dean Marks, Caleb Martin, not Cody Martin, Rashawn Holmes, and Leonard Miller, because he really is playing super well in terms of just his percentages are solid. 58.6 last year, 61.1 the year before. He plays well when he has the time. We just haven't had the time lately. So we'll see how this ends up working out. I will see you at the end of the season. So we're at the end of the year, and it finally happened. The Cincinnati Royals finally, after many years of tanking,